Alright, okay, so I'm gonna begin by, I just opened Delphi. What to do next? Okay, so first of all, we're gonna click on a file in the left top menu. Then we're gonna hover over new. Then you will see there's a few options. What we want to focus on is the VCL forms application, and then you can see that's a dash Delphi, so we're gonna click on that option. Then it's taking a bit of time. Okay, then it's gonna load up and give us this interface. Okay, few things to note here in the left hand corner. If we go to the bottom, is the object inspector. Okay, so what is the object inspector? Is if we click on a component, we can go and edit its properties in the object inspector. Okay, in the middle over here, we've got the form, which is going to be our working space. We can drag that around. Okay, in the right hand side, we can ignore this the file and project group. We're not interested in that at the moment, but on the right hand side at the bottom is the tool palette. Okay, so what do we get there? Here in the tool palette we get the components we want to use. Okay, alright, so bit basic. We're gonna start off with, I think let's start off with basic components. Okay, so a button. Okay, let's put a button in, and what I'm gonna add is a label. I'm gonna add an edit box, a radio button. Let's add 2 radio buttons. Checkbox. Gonna add both here. Checkbox. Okay. So yes, we've got a label, we've got an edit box, we've got radio buttons, checkboxes, we've got a normal button. Let me think, what else is there? That combo box. Okay, I might explain the combo box. Let me just quickly check what else I can explain. I've got the label, radio. Okay. Okay, I think this is all for now. Okay, so shape we're not really gonna use. Let me just check on this Google Forms. You guys said edit box, button, checkbox, radio buttons, and a combo box. Okay, so most of you said you understand it, you just need to revise. A lot of you guys actually said you don't understand anything of these components. Okay, so I'm gonna run through it. Okay, in the first thing, what we want to do is always change the name of the components. Okay, so a label, luckily we don't really use a label encoding, so we don't need to go change the name, but we want to change the caption. Remember what I said? So the name is basically the calling name, and then the caption is what we see. Okay, so the caption here is, let's just say this as a name for now, or name and surname. Okay, if this label is name and surname, obviously the box next to it should refer to a person's name and surname. Okay, so let's click on the edit box and let's go change those to properties, which is the name and the caption. So first of all, we're going to change the name. Okay, so an edit box, can anyone tell me what the first 3 letters is if we want to give an edit box a name? EDT. Okay, so EDT will always stand before the name we want to give this edit box. Okay, if we look at the label, it says this is an name and surname edit box, so obviously the name should then be EDT, something like full name. It can be name and surname, so EDT name, surname. Okay, one thing to note, in this name field you can't have any spaces, and normally doesn't really take funny characters. So what you want to do is, after each like word, if you want to begin with a new word, you just want to capitalize the first letter. You will see my EDT is in small letters, then I start with a capital N for name, and then right after that no space, just a capital S for surname. Okay, so we know this edit box's name is then EDT name surname. Okay, what we then want to also do is we want to go at the top, go to you will see there is no caption like the label. Okay, so in this case with an edit box, this how can I say, the thing you see here is not called caption, but it's called text. Okay, not really an explanation, you just need to go learn it. Okay, so if you come to text, you will see if you edit this, it's going to edit whatever is being typed into the box. Okay, so for now all we want to do is we want to clear the text, simple as that. Okay, if we look at the radio buttons, okay, first of all we want to go give it a name. So let's say this is a box yes no. Okay, then we want to go to the name field, and we want to say, so a radio button's first three would be RDB for radio button. Okay, very simple. And let's say this is a yes radio button, then we will just give it the name RDB yes. Okay, then what we want to do, again, the caption, what we see, so we don't want to read RDB yes, we just want to read a simple yes, just like that. The next one is the, let's call this the RDB no for the radio button, capital N-O, no. Okay, again we want to go back to the caption and we want to delete the RDB, so it's just called no. Okay, lastly a checkbox. Let's say it is, okay, let's call this one, let's go to the name and we call this, so basically what I've got here in mind is basically, let's say you book into a hotel and you use this platform. Not gonna make it very nice now, but just to give you the idea. So the name of the first one, so I want two checkboxes that the client can select to see, does he want DSTV and does he want a balcony. Okay, so the first checkbox will then be, let's just call it CHB, so our checkbox, checkbox DSTV. Okay, then we want to go to the caption. Again, we don't want to see that CHB, that is just the caller, we just want to see DSTV. Same with checkbox number 2, our name for this component is CHB checkbox, and that is balcony. Okay, then we want to go again to the caption, remove that CHB and just call it balcony. Okay, so remember the name still stays CHB balcony, but what we see, the caption, is then just balcony, just to make it a bit nicer. Okay, our button, let's just call this button, let me see, BTN, where's name, let's call it, okay, so a button gets the prefix BTN and then whatever we want to call it, so let's just call this book, BTN book. Okay, okay, shucks. So yes, we call this BTN book, and then if we go to the caption, we're just gonna delete the BTN and call it book. Okay, everyone can still hear me, right? Okay, awesome. Okay, so we're gonna call this book, and let's maybe grab this combo box, let's give it a name as well. Name, so CMB, so combo box, and we're gonna call this, let's call this room. Okay, then, okay, so combo box is again a bit different. It does not have a caption. It does have a text, but you'll see this is only what is displayed here. You can go change this, but even if you run this program, you will see that it's gonna just have that one option, and then there will be nothing to be selected. So we want to change that. We want to add some items in there. So let's add a few suites that a person can book into. Can either be a let's say 1 bedroom, a 2 bedroom, and maybe like a king or presidential suite. Okay, so how we add items into this combo box. Let's first start with the text. So text is what the person's gonna see in the beginning. So let's just call it maybe select a room. Okay, so that is what I'm gonna see when this program runs. And then there's something called items. Okay, you will see here it's items. It says T string, and there's 3 buttons to the right. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to click on those 3 buttons. It's gonna open up a string list editor. Okay, inside here is where we are gonna add all the options. So first we're gonna start with a 1 bedroom, a 2 bedroom, then maybe get to like I said, the presidential suite. Okay, so now if we run this program, we will see that our combo box now says select a room, and if you click on this down arrow, then we have those options we added in the items menu. Okay, and then obviously you can select it. Okay, so now I've got a few components in my program. So now how do we utilize this? Okay, so I'm gonna make just a very simple thing. If I click this book, I'm just gonna show message. I'm gonna show message the name. Let's this yes no. If you click yes no, do you want DSTV? Do you want the balcony? And which room? Okay, so in order to, let's just make it a bit nicer. Let's just say that yes no is VIP card. We need a label, sorry. So we add a label in here called sorry, this thing is dodgy. So the caption will be, let's say, do you have a VIP card? Okay, so then the user will just say yes or no. Then we want to add in another label, and maybe just give this DSTV and balcony just a bit more nicer detail, so we know what DSTV and balcony means, and that is do you want to add an extra? Okay, so if they click on DSTV, we gonna add DSTV to the list of extras, and also balcony to the list of extras. Okay, then again, person's gonna select the room. I'm gonna click book. It's gonna display all the information for me. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Okay, how do we extract the name and surname? Okay, so I'm gonna double click on the button to take me to the coding. Okay, so what's gonna happen is if I click this button, then in the program it is gonna do whatever is inside the begin and end of that code. Okay, before we start that, let's first save this program. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to go to this double save one. You can see there's like almost like 2 floppy drives. You want to click it. It's also called save all. So you want to click on that button. Then you will see it's gonna open a default location. So what we want to do is, you don't want to save everything in that default location. You would preferably want to go to, let's say, documents, create a new folder. Okay, so maybe call this your Delphi projects. Okay, so all your Delphi projects will be in this folder. Then you want to create a new folder for each program that you want to do. So in this case, I've got now my booking program, so I'm going to click new folder. I'm going to call it my booking program. Then I want to go into that folder and I want to click save. Okay, then it's going to prompt me again for another thing to save. I don't want to change any names here, I just want to click save. Okay, so now you will see the save all goes blank and I can't save anymore. That means it's saved. Okay, if you do a change, and then obviously you're gonna need to save again. Okay, so let's continue. If I double click on my booking, you will see I've got my begin and end. So this is where I'm gonna do my coding. First of all, I want to extract the name and the surname. Okay, so I'm gonna add var at the beginning. Okay, and that is just to say I'm gonna add a few variables. Okay, so let's add a variable called name and surname. I'm gonna give that the data type of string, because obviously it is characters and it's a sentence, so I'm gonna add it as a string. Okay, so to extract something, what we want to do is it's like a cup. Okay, this name and surname is basically like a cup. Okay, I want to pour content into that cup. Now in this edit box, the person is going to type in his name and surname, so obviously I want to take that, whatever that content is, and I want to put it into my cup. Okay, how do I extract this content? Easy, with one of these properties called the text. Okay, where's text, this one. Okay, it's empty at the moment, but as soon as the user types something, it will be in this text field. So I want to take that text field, put it into my cup. Okay, so like I said, I want to have my cup, which is called name and surname. I'm gonna do a colon equals, so it is what I always like to say, it's my variable is, because it almost looks like an I, is equal to what? So it is my edit box name and surname dot text. Okay, so this is my content and I'm throwing it to the left side into my cup. Okay, in other words, I've got my cup. What do I want to put into my cup? I want to put in the edt name and surname dot text. Okay, so that is how we extract something out of an edit box, by using edt name and surname dot text. And vice versa, if you want to display something in that edit box, you would say edt name and surname surname is equal to whatever is in name and surname. Okay, so what this then will do, if it's reversed, it's going to take whatever's into my string. So let's say this name was Mr. Walkinshaw. Then if I add it into edt name and surname, it will give me an error. Why? Because I didn't place it into the correct property. So I need to remember my dot text. So if I add my dot text, then it will display Mr. Walkinshaw in that edt name and surname. Okay, so this property is really vital. Okay, so this is extracting something out of the edit box, inserting something into the edit box. Okay, so next one is the radio button group. Okay, so with this one, it is quite easy. We're going to use if statements. If you don't really understand if statements, I will again explain it a bit further on. But for now, if you guys can remember what an if statement is, we're going to write if space, then it's going to give us a statement. So whatever is inside this if it is true, then it will do a bit of code. Okay, so we can say if rdb, our radio button yes dot checked equals true, then begin and do a bit of code. Okay, then we want to remove the semicolon off the end and write else if, and then we want to write rdb no dot checked equals true. Then we want to do another set of code. Okay, so how we read this, if our radio button yes dot checked, so it's a property, is true, then okay, let's create another variable here at the top called a VIP. Okay, so if our radio button yes for the VIP card dot check is true, then we want to say VIP is equal to, let's say, yes. Okay, remember we've got a string, we need to put it inside quotes. Okay, then the next line reads, else if my radio button node dot check property equals to true, then VIP must not be yes, but it must be no. Okay, so that's easy. So if our radio button yes dot check property is true, it means it's tick, then the VIP obviously means they have a VIP card. Else if it is checked, the no is checked, then obviously the VIP card is not present, or they do not have one. Okay, you can actually play around with these properties. If you click on the radio button, you scroll down to checked. Up, it's checked, right? Yeah, checked. So if you click this one to be true, you will see the no is not enabled, and if you go onto no and you change the checked false to true, you will see it removes the yes as true, make it a false, and then add the no one. Okay. Alright, so that is how we get a radio buttons value or data, or how we analyze radio buttons. Next up, we've got checkboxes. Okay, so here where the radio button needs loops, or if loops, or if, or nested ifs. So it's an if else, if else, if else, else. Radio buttons use this format basically, because if this one is selected, then it means only this one can be selected. But if yes is not selected and no is selected, then we've got another set of code. But if we have a few, let's say 5 radio buttons, then you have to go check, is yes selected? No. Is this selected? Else? No. Is this selected? No. If this is selected. So it's like basically inside a structure. Whereas checkboxes, if I play this program, it has 2 errors. Oh, just forgot my is equal. Okay, so you'll see if I click my radio buttons, you can see only one can be active at once. If you look at the checkboxes, I can select both, or I can select one, or I can select none. Okay, so that's why we do not use if nested statements. We just use if statements for every checkbox we have. Okay, so let's say let's add another another 2 string variables, one called DSTV and one called balcony. Okay, then we're gonna have, like I said, an if statement for every checkbox we've got. Okay, so I'm gonna have an if statement for my first checkbox, which is checkbox DSTV dot checked. So if DSTV dot checks property equals to true, then let's just say begin, and now I'm gonna use that DSTV string variable. I'm gonna give it, let's say I'm just gonna give it a sentence, okay, let's say add DSTV to order. Let's just have a simple one. Okay, and for this demonstration you don't have to always do this. I'm just gonna say else DSTV is equal to no DSTV requested. Okay, so you do not really actually need to have this else statement. What I'm just doing for now is I just want to show you how this if else statement makes a bit of a difference. Okay, so again, I don't want to add here else if checkbox, the next one, balcony.checked is true. I want to add it in my own separate if statement. So I'm going to have another separate if statement, and I'll have my my checkbox balcony dot my checked property. If that one is true, then I just want to begin and say, okay, my balcony variable, I'm gonna add a text, let's say balcony wanted, and let's have another else statement. We've got to begin. So this else without an if just means if this one is true, then do this, otherwise it's obviously not checked. Then just begin by saying balcony, and then let's give it just something, balcony not needed, something like that. Okay. Gonna add some semicolons in here. Okay, so it's gonna go through the code and see. So if our checkbox DSTV is checked, then it will just basically put add DSTV to order inside our DSTV variable. Else, then it's obviously no, it is not checked. So then just say no DSTV requested. Same for the balcony checked. So just if it's true, if it is checked, so then we just say balcony wanted into the balcony variable, and then balcony not needed if it's not checked. Okay, so that covered basically everything except the last one is our combo box. Okay, so let's extract it out of that one, and we're gonna use another string variable called just room. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to simply say room is equal to our combo box room dot text. Okay, so that means if we run this program, if you select a room, let's say the two bedroom, then obviously this is now my text, so I want to just extract this 2 bedroom out. Okay, so that is how we get our room, and now we can simply just give a nice display. Okay, so the display I'm going to use is just a show message for now. So show message. Okay, inside this show message I want to just show the name and surname, so I'm just gonna put my variable name and surname in there, comma, okay, this comma needs to be inside quotes. Okay, oh, remember to add your plus sign, so it's name and surname plus or comma plus. Now we want to say if the VIP card is present, so let's just call our VIP. Okay, let's inside this quotes, this ones, let's say VIP, and then we just got a colon, and then we plus our VIP. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm calling my name and surname, whatever is inside name and surname, then I'm saying okay plus add a colon, so if the name is going to be written, comma, and then say VIP, and then we want to go check this VIP variable only as a yes or no. So we need to indicate, we can't just go write VIP there and then this one VIP and then it will just tell us yes or no. We need to be detailed. What is yes or no of VIP inside quotes is yes or no. Okay, then we plus again. So next is the extras. Okay, so let's write just extras, and then we go again and add a plus. Now we just say DSTV, and then we can have another comma, remember the plus signs, plus comma space plus balcony, and then the last one is plus, I'm just gonna add another separator again, and then just inside the separator just write room, and then next to the plus sign, we're just gonna write room here. Okay, so now it's basically gonna display this in a show message, and we click save, and let's run it. Let's see if there are any errors. Okay, so name and surname, let's write in a name here. Okay, do you have a VIP card? Let's say yes. Do you want to add an extra? Let's add a DSTV, or no, let's add a balcony, not DSTV, and let's select the presidential suite. I'm gonna click book. Now it says, okay, deal with Walkinshaw, VIP. Yes, I've got a VIP card. Then extras, no DSTV requested, balcony wanted, and room presidential suite. So that's how I extracted all the information out of my components. Okay, so let me just check. Okay, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do another component, and that's just basically to neaten the display up a bit, and that one is called a rich edit. Rich edit. T-rich edit. Okay, so we have done the T-rich edit, but I'm just gonna quickly walk through it again. So first of all, we want to give it a name. Okay, so the name here is a rich edit gets the prefix red. Okay, and normally we just call it display, red display, red display. I'm gonna click enter, and then again inside here, it's not called caption, not really text, it is called lines. So if we scroll down, lines, we will see it's almost like the combo box. It has like a T strings with dots next to it, so we want to click on the dots, and we want to just clear everything out. So it says 0 lines and there's no lines, then we click OK, then you will see it's cleared. Okay, so now I'm going to do exactly what I did in my show message. I'm just going to put it in that rich edit display. Okay, so how do I use that rich edit display? I'm going to first of all type red and then display dot lines. So first off, every time you run this, you want to first clear the rich edit. Okay, sometimes you want to clear it, sometimes you're not. For now, we are just going to clear it every time. Okay, the next one is red display dot lines dot add, and then we've got inside the square, the round brackets, what do we want to add into the lines of the rich edit. So very simple, we want to add our name and surname. Okay, then what we want to do is on the next line I want to display VIP. So what I can do is I can go and just click enter, create another one, red display dot lines dot add, and now I can write VIP, and then I can just add my whatever's inside my VIP variable. So what it is doing now, it's going to display name and surname, then on a next line underneath my name and surname, it's going to display the VIP information. Okay, then I want to underneath that one red display dot lines dot add the extras. Okay, so let's just give it the extras. Okay, and we want to add, let's say DSTV, and we also want to maybe add comma, let's put this in quotes, comma, and now we want to add balcony. Okay, I forgot the plus sign there. Okay, so that is going to be our extras. Okay, then I'm also going to do red display. I'm going to show you a shorter way to do this now. This is just to wrap your head around it, and then I'm going to explain a bit more detailed. Is I want to just also show the room. So just going to add plus room. Okay, and then this should work. Okay, we can play it, we can test it, see if there's errors. Shouldn't be any errors. Gonna add a name and surname again, gonna add a VIP card, add DSTV, add a balcony, and select a room. I'm gonna book. It's gonna just display all the information Okay, so I didn't remove that line yet. So now we can see in our rich edit it displays nicely. We've got our name and surname, it says VIP yes, extras, add DSTV to order, balcony wanted, room 2-bedroom. Okay, so we can do it this way. Now I'm going to show you a bit shorter way to do this in basically one line. So just gonna add this into comments, or maybe add that show message as well. We don't really want to show. So we get two things. We get a hashtag 9 and a hashtag 13. Okay, hashtag 9 is to create a tab. Okay, that means if you've got, let's say, VIP, then I want to have a nice big space between it, and then we want a yes or we want a no. Then inside here is where the hashtag 9 is basically going to create a space. I'm going to show you that in a second. And the next thing we have is the hashtag 13, which is to move to the next line. Okay, so that is basically, instead of having all this red display, dot lines, add again, we can just use hashtag 13 and it will automatically move whatever's next to the next line. Okay, so to demonstrate this, we're gonna have our red display dot lines dot clear. We're gonna have our first red display dot lines dot add. Okay, so now we're gonna begin by adding all the stuff. So let's give the name and surname a caption. So just name. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it name for now. Then I want to plus. Okay, so I want to create a tab basically between all the headings and the actual information. So I'm gonna add a hashtag 9 plus, and then I want to add the name and surname variable. Okay, so now once that line is done, I want to move to the next line. So instead of having another red display dot lines for VIP, I'm just gonna add a plus hashtag 13 plus. Okay, so that will take me to the next line. And then what do I want on this line? So I want the caption, so VIP card, let's say VIP card, and then I want to have another okay, I want to first close that quotes. So VIP card, again, I want to have a nice tab between the caption and the information, so I'm going to add a hashtag 9. I'm going to add plus, and then I want to display whatever's in VIP, so a yes or a no for the card. Then I want to add on to the next line, so I want to go to the next line, so I'm going to use hashtag 13, so that will take me to the next line. Now I want to display extras. Okay, I'm going to change this up a bit. So for this one, I'm going to display, I'm going to have a caption called extras. Oh, I see spelling went horrible there. So extras, and then I want to basically add it as a list underneath each other. So I don't want to have a tab and then display everything. I want to have like a caption extras. Go to the next line, display, do you want DSTV or not? Go to the next line, do you want balcony or not? So how I do that is I just add a hashtag 13. So that will take me to the next line, and then I can display my DSTV, whatever is in DSTV. Okay, again, what I want to do is I want to say hashtag 13 to go to the next line. And what do I want to display on that line? I want to display balcony. Okay, then we are at the last one, is the room. So again, I just want to go to the next line, which I use hashtag 13. I want to say plus, add some quotes, write room there, so that will be my caption. Plus, I want to create a nice little tab, so that will be hashtag 9. And then I want to finally say whatever I want to display in room, and that is the room that will be selected. Add a semicolon, and then let's see if this abomination works. So I'm going to click on yes, no errors, perfect. I'm going to add a name here. I'm going to select the VIP card. Let's add both these, and let's add a 1-bedroom. If I click book now, you will see I've got my caption name. That hashtag 9 created a nice little tab for me. I've got my name and surname. Then that hashtag 13 went on to the next line where I had my caption. I've got my hashtag 9, which creates a nice little space, so you'll see these two are nice underneath each other. Then I've got my hashtag 13, which gives me my next caption extras, which then again hashtag 13 to say add DSTV to order, hashtag 13 add balcony, and then again hashtag 13 will take me to the next one where I had my caption room. Then I had again a hashtag 9, which creates a tab, and then I displayed the room I wanted. Okay, so that is basically all the main components: extracting, using it, displaying it. Okay, so I think that is all that you really need to understand by now. Okay, there is a lot of other components, but these are really the basics and things you need to understand. Very easy, very simple. Let me just stop this recording.